Back again for this week's TUF 23 and Ultimate Fighter recap here at Syndicate MMA in beautiful, fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada.
This week on the episode of TUF 23, we saw the fight between Amanda Cooper and Lana Green. They're both strikers, so I thought it was going to be kind of a battle on the feet, but Amanda actually took it to the ground, which was smart because Lana doesn't have much of a ground game.
We expected a mostly stand-up fight with ABC maybe wanting to take it to the ground. ABC has a boxing background, and Lanch has great Muay Thai. ABC's a bit more experienced on the ground than Lanch is, so we were thinking she might want to take it there where she has the advantage.
She ended up securing a top position and getting Lanchana's back eventually and securing in the rear naked choke.
It was an awesome fight. Lanchana being a really good striker and Amanda being a really good grappler. We thought that it would be like the classic, striker versus grappler matchup, but ABC came out and she showed some really good striking. It was definitely an exciting fight, and props to her for beating such a strong opponent like Lanchana and advancing onto the finals.
Amanda Cooper had a tough weight cut on this episode. She's one of the bigger girls, so for her to have to cut 3 times in 6 weeks is a big deal. That's why a lot of people don't want to go on the Ultimate Fighter because they can't make the weight 3 times. She ended up making the weight. She stayed on her diet for the most part, but she probably could have stayed a little bit lower in weight on the show. But, she still made the weight, and she still had a good fight.
I definitely understand that situation. Like, cutting weight's definitely not an easy thing. And usually, being a fighter, we cut weight, every few months for a fight. It's not like every other week, So after cutting weight for one fight and then rehydrating and then have to cut another, the body just sometimes doesn't do the same way. Like, cutting weight puts the body into survival mode, so it really wants to hold on to everything that it has. So I think that was a struggle. Being in the house, I saw Amanda. She was dieting every day. Never cheating on her diet, always doing everything the right way. Just her body, didn't want to, work the way that it usually does. And I think that's just because of the short amount of time we had in between, the fights and the previous fights. So,
and making weight 3 times in 5.5 weeks takes a toll on your body, and it's very tough. You make weight once and then your weight bounces back and you tend to, gain your weight back, and then you make it again and the same thing happens, and then that 3rd time, a lot of times it can be really tough to get the weight to come off again. So she struggled a lot with that. Ultimately, it didn't seem to affect her performance, surprisingly. I thought she was going to be a lot more drained than she was.
Definitely a struggle. I hats off to her for being in such a crappy position and having to, to push through it, because we've seen it in the past seasons of people can't make weight on the show. They go home and, like, their life after that's all they're known for is just, not being able to make weight in the house. So, hats off for her for really muscling through it, because I know that wasn't an easy situation to be in.
So the match got made between Khalil and Josh. The red team was a little bit sad about the matchup. We were hoping that our boys would get matched up against Claudia's team, but it didn't end up that way. So we were all a little bit down. Nobody really wanted to see the fight. I'm pretty sure every girl on our team cried during that fight. So it was an emotional thing, and it was a hard thing to watch. And they're both really good. They're 2 of the best guys on the whole show. So it's definitely going to be a very exciting fight, but also very emotional fight for the red team.
So yeah, with Khalil versus Josh, we're expecting a good fight out of it. Both of them are real good fighters. They both have real good stand-up. Josh has a wrestling background, though, so we were kind of maybe thinking he'd want to take it to the ground and utilize his wrestling a little bit. But regardless of that, we were expecting a great fight out of it, and this fight is amazing and does not disappoint at all.
I think that when Dana chose me to step in, I think the reason why he chose me is because of the situation of, like, having to fight Corey. And, I think that he felt like I deserved a second chance. In that situation. I think he said it himself that he was excited and entertained by my fight to get in the house. And then also the commentary against the fight with Corey and I, he said that we were both throwing bombs, that we were both, putting on exciting fights. And so that commentary compared to the commentary of other fights, that alone shows me that he was a little bit more excited of, I guess, my style of fighting, the aggression that I bring. So I think that's why he chose it. He wanted to see, more of that aggression, and he felt, maybe that I deserved a second chance. So, it was good. It gave me confirmation that, I don't really need to change anything, just get better and keep my fighting style the way that it is. And if he's entertained by it, then that means, like, a lot of other people have got to be entertained by it too, because that guy's kind of hard to please when it comes to being a fighter. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of TUF 23 and Syndicate MMA recap. Please follow us on Twitter, Syndicate MMA. Jamie Moyle is at LoveboatJamie. Corey is Corey H MMA, and I am War_Khalil. So give us a follow, come train, come to Las Vegas, hang out, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks.